raised. They're over here. Hello, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. Levi has mowed our pasture. We left it long last year, hoping that the goats would use the standing grass. It's technically, yes, it's a grass, but that broom sedge as like a winter forage, they did not, they will not eat it. I have had goats eat broom sedge, but they like it when it's green. When it starts to go brown, they won't eat it. So I was walking out in the pasture with the goats. Goodness, maybe it was an hour ago, and I noticed that Breezy had a little bit of a slime trail. Breezy is due on Tuesday. Today is Sunday. It's actually Easter Sunday right now. So it wouldn't be that unusual. She's well within her due date window. But the thing is, her ligaments are super, super hard. So let me see if I can show you. Cute little baby getting a snack break. She's not really letting me near her, which I guess could be a sign as well. Ma'am, can I feel your back end? So back here, goats have a ligament that attaches their tail to like the pin bone down here, one of their hip bones. And this ligament tends to soften up quite a lot when they go to give birth. And that's just to allow for optimal passage of the kids. And usually you're not gonna see a string of goo before you have softening ligaments, but here we are. I'm not totally sure that she's in labor right now, but she's within the window, and so I'm watching her very closely. Her udder, I mean, it's big-ish. It's been big for a little while. It's not, at least by looking at it, it doesn't appear to be tight. No, it's really not particularly tight. So I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? Are you able to tell me? I just did her udder shave yesterday, and it does look to me that she has filled out a little more on her fore udder, or the part of her udder that's right in front of the teat. There's more going on down there. Huh. And she's usually not a particularly vocal goat. That can be a sign as well. I need to keep my eyes on her. Hi, Fury. How are you? Next year's your year, okay? Not this year. You little turd. What are you doing? Good morning. So it's the next day. Breezy looks great. She looks exactly the same as she did yesterday. And her due date's actually today. It's April 1st. I had it wrong. I looked at my calendar. But in any case, that is her Nigerian due date. Breezy is a mini La Mancha. She's half Nigerian and half La Mancha. And I guess she could go either way as far as her gestation. Standard breeds like La Manchas tend to go a little bit longer than Nigerians do with their pregnancies. So we're gonna be watching her all week. We do have some severe weather coming tonight and tomorrow, so I'm actually really hoping that she holds off. So it's gonna be another one of those vlogs where it's kind of random because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. They are putting in new power poles on our street and they shut the power off. So I'm coming outside to do a little bit of garden work that I have neglected for actually a few years. I have started weeding and amending these beds here. This isn't going to have anything new in it. These are the elephant garlic, but I do have plans for things to put in this space, but they're not solid plans. I'm still kind of deciding what to do. I want to convert this space into a perennial space really as quickly as possible because I've been talking about that forever and haven't really committed to it. But this area is what I'd like to tackle today. I have years and years worth of tomato ties on this trellis and it needs to come off. I have these muscadine grapes that are barely starting to come out of dormancy here. Can you see that? And there's one on this trellis as well that is barely starting to come out of dormancy. And so that is what's gonna live here. And so I'd like to clean up this trellis. So Let's do it. There, that looks worlds better. One of the things that they're doing up the road is cutting trees down, and then I think they're putting them through a wood chipper. I don't know what's happening with that mulch that's coming out of the wood chipper, but maybe I can get them to drop it off here because I do need to mulch. A lot of what you see here is just dead plants from last year, and this is fine. This is going to add nutrients to the soil, but I really need to have more mulch to help retain moisture. We deal with a lot of intense sun throughout the summer months, but also a lot of wind. And wind, especially when you're gardening in like a raised bed or a container, it can just wick the moisture right out of it. And so mulch really helps with moisture retention. So we definitely require mulch around here. You can see a little bit here of some of the mulch that we've laid down over the years. We just buy, I think it's the Evergreen brand, but it's hardwood bark mulch, and it's worked really well for us. It does break down over time. See if we dig down in this soil here, see how nice and moist it is? And then this soil doesn't have any mulch on top of it. I guess when we dig down, it's really not too bad. We haven't had a lot of sun today, but that actually makes me feel really good to see that that soil is retaining moisture pretty well. It's this stuff. It's my first year using this, and so far I like it. I noticed something awesome the other day. More and more of our asparagus crowns are coming out of dormancy. I have asparagus all in these two beds. There are a few asparagus crowns over here. This is basically all cilantro that you see. There are some hidden strawberries underneath. I've talked about transplanting some of the cilantro, and I'd like to do that this week. Let's see, there's more asparagus over here with my prickly pear. So this garden over here, it's going through a transformation to be more perennial. And we're also transitioning our greenhouse into being a raised bed greenhouse. So I have this new Birdie's raised bed that was just sent to me last week. I just got it put together, and it's sitting here for now until I can tote it over to the greenhouse. This is beautiful. I really like it. I'll be talking about these more in a video coming up, but the Birdie's raised beds are the original, like corrugated style raised beds made in Australia. So we'll be filling the greenhouse with those, and this is also part of the plan. So Levi went to the farm store the other day, and I asked him to pick me up 10 cattle panels so that I can do an archway through the whole center of the greenhouse. I'm very excited to put that together. I just can't contain it. These are actually not cattle panels. These are sheep and goat panels. You can see they have a 4x4 configuration. I guess this is all they had. It's gonna work great. Do I have a screaming child over here? My goodness. Do you need some food? Is it lunchtime? The power is back on so I can heat up their bottles. Right now, Winnie and Cole are eating about 3 cups at each feeding together. They're not each eating 3 cups. That would be insane for a Nigerian. And I'm only feeding them bottles 3 times a day. These angels. You ready? Winnie's used to going first. She's like, what the heck is this? She's looking for a teat in my armpit. So I didn't get to go to our normal Friday grocery trip, so I did not get my Friday Pepsi. So I do not have an extra bottle, or else I would feed you both at the same time. I know, I'm out of extra bottles. It's amazing how bottle feeding can just completely transform a baby goat. It really can, from wild to like in your face. I honestly prefer like a middle ground. I really like it when a dam raised baby is just made friendly by handling them, because they're a lot less in your face than a bottle baby. Bottle babies can tend to be underfoot a lot and trip you up. But I'd rather have that than a wildling, that's for sure. Breezy, the doe that we're waiting to give birth, she's never had a bottle in her life, and she's one of the sweetest babies ever. Winnie, I don't have a teat over there. Oh no. because I don't have to, but I want to. Oh, Winnie. You all right? Okay. Hey, Tori. Good afternoon, ma'am. Do you guys want to walk out to the pond with me? There's Breezy. How you doing, girl? Oh, she has ligaments, but they are starting to sink in. Oh, man. Hey, Stormy. How you doing? She's looking good. Can you hold those babies in another couple days? Let's see if they'll follow me to the pond. Yesterday, Levi, like I mentioned, he mowed over in our pond pasture. Over on the other side of our pond, we'll go over there and look at it even if they don't follow me. There's a lot of green grass, like a lot of very lush green grass. A lot of the green that you see out here, it's a combination of clover and buttercup. Both of those things are technically toxic to goats. I can tell you that my goats eat a ton of it. At least the buttercup they eat a ton of, and it hasn't caused them any issues. Crossing fingers. It may be a problem like if that's their only forage or something. So, you girls coming? Yep, here we go. Let's go. Pretty soon this will be all lovely and green for them. Come on. You can see these tracks in the mud. They made it pretty far yesterday. Oh, sound like a frog. Come here, Tori. You gonna help me show the people the green grass? Everybody else is running back to the barn. See, there's tufts of long stuff out here. I believe this is orchard grass. It's really nice stuff. Atta girl. She's a bottle baby. Come on, girl. Atta girl. Atta girl, you're with me. Let's go. Come on. Good girl. It's okay. Oh, they've decided they're gonna risk it again. We've had this pasture in place for, this will be our third summer with it. And every year that we've had it, it has taken the goats quite a while to be comfortable coming out into this large pasture again, because they completely won't come out here during the winter at all. I don't know what it is about it, but they just ignore this pasture in the winter. This past year we had really long broom sedge in it, and I can sympathize with them not wanting to go out into the pasture, wondering if there's going to be, you know, a coyote hiding in there or something. But even when we've mowed it in past years, they decide it's not worth the walk. But there's some really great green stuff right over there. They might come check it out. Come on, Christine, I hear you. Oh, it looks like they're turning around again. Oh no. If one of them chickens out and runs away, they'll take a lot of the herd with them. But some of them stayed. This is good. We've got about a third of the herd with us still. Can you guys come this way? I came out here a couple days ago before Levi had mowed, and Clover, Jupiter, Alara, and Tori, and one other goat, I think it was Mochi. They all followed me over here, way over here. Come on. We've got all kinds of wild blackberry that they can partake of. There's some honeysuckle. That'll be blooming soon. This is one of the few places on our property where we actually have browse, like little trees for them to nibble on. Ooh, what is this? A turtle hole? Possibly. So it's starting off kind of slow, but the grass is starting to grow, and hay is expensive. So I've been doing what I can to try to convince them to come out here. Because this pasture hasn't been touched by them all winter long, it's had a nice break. So in theory, most of the worms that were pooped out last year, the worm eggs that were pooped out last year are dead and gone at this point. That little pasture that they've been in is only about 1.25 acres. And this extension that we put in out here, it gives them about a total of 6 acres to browse or graze, which is really nice. That much space helps keep the worm load down. Now they do have their favorite spots to graze. They're actually headed to it right now. It's right over in this corner. The grass over there is really nice and lush when it comes in. It's not quite here yet. You're almost there. You almost got to the green. Oh. I have these little beeper collars that I usually put on baby goats because this area is so large. Sometimes they can get lost. Their little legs can just tire out. But all the babies that we have on the ground right now are definitely old enough to keep up with the herd. However, when Breezy gives birth, I will very likely put some collars on her babies just to be safe. I think it's within a 100-foot range. I can push the button and I can hear the beep. So if a baby is kind of bedded down somewhere and hard to find because they're lost and scared, I can find them with that beeper. And that beeper has saved lives in the past. So this is what they're gonna do for the next little while. They'll come out and then they'll run back, and they'll come out and then they'll run back. And eventually there'll be enough out here where it's a good enough idea to be away from the barn to graze. And so I look forward to that. Hey, sir. Oh, did you find a leaf? You dropped it.